It's time for Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime. So strap yourselves in as we meet the Let's Go gang. Anthony!
Hello.
Dwayne!
Hello.
Niall!
Hello, children.
And me, Brian! But first, the week in JoJo's news. So, they've started serializing part 3 as the jump back in Weekly Shonen Jump. The digital version.
Excellent.
And I noticed I don't know when it started, because I've just had to reinstall it on my new tablet, but you can now buy collected manga through that Weekly Shonen Jump app.
Yes.
That'd be much easier.
However, you can't buy JoJo's Part 3.
So that's only part of
even though they're serializing it.
Wait.
I believe you can buy Part 1 and Part 2, though.
So can you not buy it because they're serializing it, or?
I've no idea. Probably not. No, I don't. At this point,
That's a silly logic.
Because people always say, "Oh, it's rights issues. It's rights issues." I'm now thinking it's laziness. It's laziness.
I guess that's likely too.
Because it's like on Comixology. All there is on Comixology is Weekly Shonen Jump at the moment. None of the stuff you can buy on Nook or on Kindle. So the stuff you can get on Nook and Kindle, I believe, is on the Weekly Shonen Jump app. But yeah, they're serializing JoJo's Part 3. So finally, a good jump back thing.
Hooray.
And there'll be some more news later on when we get to Mr. Osomatsu. The show that cannot stop generating news.
Controversy.
Well, the good thing, I mean, it is a show which generates news about the show rather than about peripheral items, as we normally talk about. But let's get into all the anime we watched this week. By Joe, we're like a
Nerds.
whole bunch of Bradley C. Meeks.
But four of us, we were more powerful together than you could ever hope to be by himself.
So, first up, Shin Atashinchi, the new version of Atashinchi, which started start of October, I think. I don't know, because comments on it seem to suggest that it's not coming out every week. So maybe Crunchyroll just started streaming it at the start of October. I don't know. I'm confused. But anyway, this episode was called Strong-Willed Mum / Yuzu wants to wear sunglasses / Mum likes new weapons /
I mean,
I might have missed a trick here. No, sounds great.
yeah, the episode titles kind of made me go, okay, I have to check this out.
It may be the anime I've seen with the most amount of eye catches. Would you say, Dwayne, as the other person who watched it?
What exactly, I'm going to use the word inspired you to watch this?
The character designs.
Because I was thinking this, I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was a significant improvement on something like Mrs. Brown's voice.
Mr. Brown's voice was exactly the thing I thought about as well watching it.
It's mammy anime.
Yes,
so, you know.
It's like, if you want to watch an anime about your mum, then this is the thing to watch.
Oh dear.
Because that first part, particularly so in the first part, the mum is basically telling the daughter, you've got to be strong-willed to get what you want in this world. Don't be lily-livered. And the son's sort of saying, well, yeah, that doesn't always pay off. I mean, she also explains it via the medium of caveman anime in a parody of, is it Gaiator's, the 70s caveman anime? Which they also reference in Abenobashi. I think the way they draw that mammoth is a specific reference to that anime. But then at the very end, she was so strong-willed that she ate some food which had gone off in the fridge. But then she said it wasn't the strong-willed which was the problem, it was her look had run out. The look was the problem.
I also enjoyed the start of that one where the daughter's carrying, I think it's like, bottled water or something like that. One of the kind of heavier things from a shop. And the mother's like shouting at her on the bus to see, I told you could do it if you ran. And everyone on the bus was just laughing at her. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah, but eating off things out the fridge was the thing I related to most.
Just the seed, if you can.
The second story is the younger son wants to wear sunglasses. That's the entire story.
Yeah,
What?
that's the story.
Is he not allowed to wear them, or?
No, he just sees a picture of a dude in a magazine
Yeah, a
with an
cool
afro
dude.
and sunglasses, and he's like, that guy's fucking cool. I want sunglasses. And then he just spends the episode thinking about what it would be like to wear the cool guy sunglasses.
And then when he sees a pair of cool guy sunglasses, it becomes... things get in the way of him actually being able to wear it. And the punchline to that made me cackle like a madman.
What's the punchline?
The cool guy whose sunglasses he wants to wear shows up at this sunglasses store that where he's trying to buy the sunglasses. And previously his best friend had told him those cool ones wouldn't suit him. He should wear these goofy ones which have like a moustache hanging off them as a chain.
Yeah, a mustache hanging down at, I guess,
Yeah.
lip length.
And then the cool guy shows up at the end and tells him exactly the same thing. It's like, no, you want to be wearing these ones. It's like his world is completely shattered.
It's like, if you're really cool, you can wear whatever glasses you want and no one's going to say anything about it.
No, it's just he thinks they suit him better. They are the most ridiculous pair of sunglasses. I don't believe such a pair of sunglasses could exist in real life.
Maybe in a novelty shop.
Possibly.
But not on like a glasses rack.
Yeah. And then Mum Nike's new weapons is the mum gets a water pistol.
Well, she gets a water pistol specifically because a crow craps on her.
Yes.
And then she gets a water pistol to scare them off the washing. Then all the crows don't come. And then there's was it a cockroach?
A cockroach, yes.
I wasn't sure if it was a beetle or a cockroach.
There's a
Right?
terraformers joke in there.
Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah. That makes sense.
They say it's a Mars-sized cockroach. At some point.
And it's just her going through the various things you can use to kill cockroaches, and which is the more effective weaponry. But it's never, you know, the way you get like one of those bug catching things, but it's never around when you need it.
Yeah.
So just to place them strategically around the house in her war against a cockroach.
But yes, if you want to watch an anime about your mum, this is the one to watch, I think. And it looks pretty good as well. It's
super. I'm guessing that was all the original style anyway, but
Yes.
it's kind of old school looking. It's kind of nice.
yeah, but the animation looks good for the very basic character designs it's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, because was because the mother looks like Bob and or Bob from Bubble Bobble.
She does a bit actually with the hair and all. I just spotted that.
But yeah, it will punctuate like every joke almost, particularly the sunglasses one with like a fresh eye catch. Every punchline.
Yeah, was this like a newspaper strip or something like that? Because it just seems like really a lot of shorts, and then they have to connect all of them.
Might be. I don't know that much about it, but I think
Right.
it might be onto something there.
Yeah, like the sunglasses one is like, are these all like shorts of the kids of the kid wanting to wear sunglasses? Because it's like, oh, what if I drew sunglasses on a photo of me? That's not going to work. And then catch. What if if I cut out 2 pieces of cardboard that I've drawn sunglasses on and put them over my eyes? Like, I can't see what I look like. Eye catch. And then it just keeps doing that over and over.
It's like if you read the first one on Monday morning, then you gotta keep reading them all the way through to Friday to find out what happens to them.
Yeah, it's like that was nearly there for laughter. Pause for a joke. I don't know.
Will I like it?
Probably not.
That's good.
But yeah, I am pleased that Dwayne thought exactly the same thing. That it was like Mrs. Brown's Boys.
But better. Yeah. I mean, like, I know that's not difficult, but it's doing a much better job.
Hey, I've seen some Mrs. Brown's Boys, and I'm not convinced it's terrible. That's
Maybe
Well,
we should
no,
watch
that-
this then.
Yeah, you may like this.
You like anime, you like Mrs. Brown, and you'll go then buy that logic. You would love this.
oh, if only it was dubbed in Irish. That'd be great.
Well, you and Dwayne will watch it, and we'll
I would watch
we'll
that.
Do the voices,
talk
yeah.
over it.
I'd watch Gundam dubbed with Irish.
Let's move on to
Size cockroach.
let's move on to the thing that everyone but Anthony watched, and that was the next 2 episodes of Concrete Revolutio.
I'm missing out. I feel I'm missing out.
You are.
Would
yeah.
I go on? I like
There's
There's
to
a
do
lot of
the
shit
thing.
going down.
So episode 3 was an iron couple, which focused on the robot detective character who got mentioned in episode 2, and his name is...
Saito
Shiba?
Shiba.
That's the fella, yes. Who is basically 8-Man.
Yeah, I was like, he's 8-man, right? And then
Yes.
I looked it up later and it was like, yeah, it is 8-man.
Yeah,
That's
there's
one
a-
of the few ones I can identify.
Later on, there's like a reference to Robot Detective, but he's very much 8-man.
The super speed kind of gave it away.
And so he's trying to track down this other robot in, hang on, let me get the dates right.
I forget about
I've
that.
written out a list. Yes.
Yeah, well, it actually hooks it into history, so.
Yeah, so it's taking place in their version of 1967.
Oh, I thought it was 1970 something. Oh, that's
That's the bit where he's tracking
yeah.
down the female robot.
Yeah.
And then the bit where the male robot returns to Japan is their version of 1972.
Mm.
So yeah, there's this female robot who apparently was designed during World War II or whatever the equivalent is in this universe. And she would come together with this male robot at some point, and they believe at this point that in the 60s that they would then explode.
Well, yeah, they say they'll form the ultimate weapon,
Yes.
and they figured it being World War II that it was Japan's equivalent
Gotta
of
be a bomb.
the H-bomb. Yeah.
And we also learn that maybe Jiro's dad had something to do with this as well. And we also learn that this cop does not like the Bureau.
Yeah, it's not kind of defined why, but I mean, like, we see kind of Jiro have his doubts about the Bureau as well, because he constantly wants to go in there and save people, which is specifically what they don't do.
Yeah.
They just
Yes.
kind of keep superheroes on the wraps.
So yeah, he's the one detective who will investigate superhuman instance.
It's all like, the Bureau, like the feds button in on his case and taking it out of his hands.
Yes.
I suppose. Yeah,
Goddamn, goddamn guys from the Pentagon coming in.
I did like him slamming his hands into the chief's desk and leaving like imprints. Damn it, chief! This is my
What's he
collar.
called, that guy? Sorry,
And he-
because I am like, I don't even have an image for this badass.
Raito Shiba.
How was spelling that? Rai or Y?
Raito
It's
Shiba.
terrible for listeners, but it's...
He just looks like a guy.
Oh,
in
how
glasses.
disappointing! He doesn't have
Yeah.
like a hat on or anything.
He's got like guns in his hands.
Oh, actually, yeah, he's
Pretty cool.
alright. I could do a cosplay here.
And he's got robot eyes.
Also available in blonde if you don't want. If you don't want
What?
that
Can
colour.
I mix and match as I watch? Do I get that? Is it that kind of shit?
Well, in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the future present, he changes his
Oh,
hair
he looks
colour,
pretty
so-
cool, actually. Yeah, he's alright.
yeah, it's better.
I was disappointed later on when he's taken off. Is the guy's name just Robot Detective or something?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, it is Robot Detective. That he doesn't have the same sense of style as that fucking Robot Detective, because that guy was suave.
But it's only like a one-shot reference when his face.
I know,
is
with
tearing.
the lines down the face. Yeah. But I mean, like, he doesn't have the sweet hat. He doesn't have the double-breasted suit.
Yeah, so we also learn back in 1972 that similar to Jiro, he's gone rogue and is wanted too. And the male robot is returning to Japan at the same time a soldier who in the real world was returned to Japan after quote unquote still fighting World War II. I believe that soldier had learnt that World War II had ended in the 50s and was just sort of hiding out of shame.
Oh, okay, that's an interesting twist. Okay.
And yeah, so his plan is to bring these two robots together and blow up this universe's equivalent of the Winter Olympics.
And what year is this? When is...
This is their version
Okay.
of 72.
Oh, gosh.
So I mean, like, it's the same. Yeah, the timeline's right
Yes.
for our world so far,
Yeah.
despite robots and everything.
But no, they don't turn into a bomb. They combine into a single robot.
What's...
Like Kaider, I think. Isn't
Yes, Kikaider is. And
Yeah,
also...
They're the same colors as well, aren't they?
Yeah, the same colours as Kikaider, but the, like, man and woman combining
it? It's fucking,
is Ultraman Ace.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say it was too late, but Dinosaur War Eisenborg, which had this exact same gimmick.
Yeah,
Kikaider came out in 1972. Ultraman Ace came out in 1972. Robot Detective
Right.
came out in 1972. And as these events take place in 1972, I'm guessing that's what they're referencing.
yeah.
On the pulse of the nation from decades ago.
Like, I think you were right, Brian. I think this one was given okay, here's exactly what we're doing. We've given you the year that all these fucking things happened.
Yeah, this was where it clicked for me. It was like,
They're not even hiding it anymore.
Yeah.
It's text, not subtext.
And the other thing we get in this episode is we get to see what, because in episode 2, Jiro had said, I'm the only human in this room. We get to see what Jaguar's power is.
Which I still don't understand what was happening. But
he has a watch which stops time.
Bernard.
Sorry, I was mixing him up with the chief guy.
Oh, that's episode 4. Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll get to him in a minute. I have no idea what's happening there. And I discovered a handy Japanese website who's doing annotations because I was looking
at that. That was super fun.
Because I was trying to figure out what his power was. I was like looking up Time's Up, Google Translate that into Japanese.
The only thing I could think of is what was the show The Girl Who Leapt Through Time was based on?
There was a book.
It was a book.
Yeah. Oh,
But
sorry.
no.
I thought it was a live action thing. Okay.
It was eventually, but it was a book to begin
Right.
with.
I was wondering if that came out in the 70s or something.
Yeah, this is in the 60s. There was a cartoon called Super Jetter, and one of his powers was to stop time.
Yeah.
And if you look at the design of Super Jetter, he looks like the superhero in Mind Game. Who could stop? Who could had
He's
time powers as well.
Same palette as Super Jet as well. It's kind of browns and beige.
I
whatever.
feel like such a dick for
Yeah,
watching this because it sounds like everything that I could request.
See, it's really enjoyable because you're watching the show and you're enjoying it. And it's like, ooh, what happened to the character to change them later on? And
Yes.
but you're also like, and also what are the thousands of things this is referencing right now? So you're kind of enjoying it multiple ways.
But yeah, the worst thing about this episode is it teases a fight we do not get in the next episode.
I hate it when shit does that. Yeah.
It's like you got your One Punch Man, my Concrete Revolutio. It was so good looking.
I'm kind of nervous because for the last week you guys were hyping this up and it sounded great. I don't know whether it'll live up to the hype for me because it sounds great. It sounds great.
Wait till you get to episode 4.
Go on, sorry, I'm getting excited.
But did you two like episode 3?
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was
My
great.
goodness. This is like, we're really kind of ramped up, and any kind of wavering kind of uncertainty I may have had was just wiped straight clean. No, this is like completely my jam now.
Like they can totally introduce like Shiba into, and I'm just like, oh, this guy's really interesting. And then it's like, wait a minute, he becomes like not a detective, essentially a criminal. And I'm just like, what? I need to know why this happens. That kind of thing. It gets its hooks in good.
Oh yeah, from that Japanese site, it mentioned there was a novel written by the guy who created 8-Man, which was supposed to be like an 8-Man novel originally called Cyborg Blues, which is about a robot detective becoming disillusioned with corruption.
Oh my
Which
god.
is exactly what happens to Rhino.
This is going too deep.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And the other thing we get in this episode is we start to see sort of the real world stuff, both with the military politics, and also we see some student protests as well.
Yeah, they're just kind of happening in the background as flavor, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we get episode 4, where it's the first 3 episodes just easing you into what they're doing. And episode 4, it goes, here we go. We're going to give you a extended allegory metaphor and sort of start referencing things hot and heavy.
What that's going to happen or not?
As we
what
get-
happened?
Oh no, things which happened in our
Oh,
world
okay.
and how they connect to this world. So we get Japan Beast History Part 1.
What history? What
Which will
history?
be followed by Japan Beast History.
Kaijus.
You keep saying kaiju, but it seems to be translated as beast,
okay.
but we know what they mean. They mean Godzilla and the like.
Yeah.
And so apparently Jiro's dad in their version of 1939 discovered a giant ape monster on an island in the Indian Ocean. Which was the first giant monster to be found. Which was obviously King Kong. And I was like, but King Kong's 1933.
Yeah.
But there was a 1938 Japanese King Kong rip-off movie, which may be the first giant monster in Japan.
So you were
Japanese
trying
film.
to call it out, and it was like, nah, we know what we're talking about. We know before you do.
And then we see 1942. We learn in this episode that America had superhumans as well.
Yeah, we learned they had the freaking Justice League. Like, okay, I don't think Batman can fly, but that guy's clearly Batman, and obviously that guy's Hawkman, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't even disguised, right?
Well, they were all flying, weren't they? So
Yeah, they were all flying, but I mean, like, it's just that the Hawk specific kind of looking dude, which is brilliant. It's just like they got their own thing. It's like the government's calling in the superheroes.
which is very Watchmen-esque, if that's what, because you guys were saying there the other week that he's busy taking some inspiration from that, so that's very much in the mold of Watchmen, alright.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out if they're referencing anything specifically with the 1942 date. They probably are at this point, but I couldn't figure it out.
Well, like I'm an instant to know where the superheroes fought a giant monkey on the island. Yeah, we all know about that. So I learned that back in primary school.
1954, though, we do get something which is very much a reference. And this is where we see a bit more of Jiro's past when...
Yeah.
Basically, the man we think of as dad finds Amy, who's the yokai of the team, and a young naked Jiro after Tokyo's attacked by an invisible Godzilla. And I'm like, is he invisible just because they don't get sued by Toho?
Yeah, I assumed what they were doing was, like, when he bursts through the building and then dives into the river, it's like, we can't show Godzilla walking down the river by that iconic bridge. I've forgotten the name of the bridge now. So it's just like, what if we just make him, like, fast? So you just missed him. That was the splash of him swimming under the bridge, rather. Yeah, that must be it, right? That's the one thing. I mean, like, based off what we're going to talk about with Osomatsu, they don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, once the Osomatsu thing happened this week, I was like, because at first I was like, oh, maybe I was like half jokingly saying, oh, maybe they made him invisible so they wouldn't get sued. And then after Osomatsu, I was like, that seems really feasible now. Most of this episode takes place in 1966, where we get the first time they make Gross Organ, the Ultraman standing from the first episode. And we see his first battle, which was basically with a beast who looks like the first beast who Ultraman fought, Bemula.
Yeah, it shows two other guys as well, one like a giant chicken-looking dude.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's later on when he's taken on the second.
But they're referencing specifically Ultraman monsters.
Yes. Yeah, and then basically in 66, the beasts begin attacking Japan more and more, and so you get more superhumans come out of either sort of out of the shadows, retirement, we don't know, to help take them on. So we get like a rush of super beings in this. So we get that. What's the robot called? I forgot to write this down.
Oh, the little girl.
Oh no, that's Earth-chan, the Astro.
That's Earth-chan. No, I don't know what it was, but it was a big, like, very chunky looking, classic super robot looking guy. And it's got a kid with a watch control that can saying, go, super, whatever your name is.
He has to have 5 kids.
Yeah, it's got the fucking... It's got Japan's version of the Famous Five or something.
I thought they were a different super team.
No, it's combined them with Giant Robo, so it's got 5 kids for Giant Robo.
But yeah, the website I mentioned basically saying it's like Edogawa Rampo's Boys Detectives Club. Yeah. In charge of Gigantor.
Yeah. So did he control, like, my radio watch controls the right arm, yours controls the left leg, and
I'm assuming we're getting a full episode with them because
that would be amazing.
The lead one is in the opening credits. So yes, we get Earth-chan, who's the robot who's been around for over a decade.
I liked that thing. I didn't spot it until I looked at those annotations. She turns into fucking Sputnik at one point.
Yes,
that's awesome.
How is all this going on in 20 minutes? Am I
right?
Am I getting the wrong end of the stick? Because it sounds like everything's going crazy. In a good way.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on the plot of the episode yet. It's just the stuff around it.
We're just going into the notes of, like, okay, this is what this is about. This is what that's representing.
Maybe this is what's from people out there. It's just like throwing so much information at you, and it's so hyper dense. It's like a rich meal. You gotta go eat a little bit at a time.
I'm sure they're going to expand on most of these characters later because they're in the opening credits. There's the guy with the helmet who we see. I wasn't sure who he was, but then went back and watched, and he's fighting a beast at sea. So I assume he's Marine.
The thing is, will somebody who's not familiar with some of these references, it's not going to kind of inhibit their enjoyment, is it? Yeah,
I don't think so.
Detract from it, but it would.
I think the problem is when you've got a little knowledge and you're like,
Yeah,
Oh,
I kind of need to look up the rest.
I know what that's from.
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing.
I know that's Giant Robo, but who are these 5 kids? Because I know it's only 1 kid, and then looking that up, and then there's a little bit deeper into that. Yeah, you can enjoy it for what it is, because it's its own universe based off the fiction that was coming out at various times in our history. But the fact that it's based on something else only adds, like you said, Niall, another layer of depth to it.
Yeah, you don't have to know precisely what your robot is. Just have to know that giant robots, especially ones that are controlled by a wristwatch communicator, were popular back then. So but you don't need to have like a knowledge of Gigantor, say, to know to appreciate it.
Like if you didn't have a fucking clue who Gigantor or wasn't he called like Giant? His name was very close to Gigantor, but it was also not Gigantor. Tetsujin 28. Like he had like Giant 7 or something was his name. I can't remember his name. But anyway, if you see that guy and it's like, that guy was cool, what's that about? And then you just kind of look into it. It kind of, there's this whole fucking series based off that guy you like. And I guess that's handy enough because other than that, you're just kind of enjoying all the madness that's happening. I feel like jumping straight into DC having never read a comic, I guess, you know?
Yeah, it may actually work the less you know.
Yeah, I could see it being super fun. It's like, who's that guy? Oh, this is brilliant.
The references are being pulled across from, in this episode, kaiju movies, but lots of other episodes from tokusatsu TV shows, but also a bunch of anime as well. So it's like, you'd have to be like multi-fandomed into everything to pick every single thing up, I think. And there's probably loads of science fiction things I'm not even beginning to pick up.
Well, good thing you had that website then with all the notes in it.
Well, I hope so, but who knows? But the bulk of the episode is they're trying to find out who's creating all these beasts, and they suspect they're a pirate radio station of like an amateur radio station called Beastly Radio Wave. And as viewers, we kind of know they're up to something because at one of these attacks, the guy who's running it is seen with a Gigantor-style radio control device. Oh,
like the suitcase kind of thing with the levers on it. Yeah, yeah.
So while they're investigating that, though, they discover that they do have a tiny little kaiju at their headquarters.
Yeah, they got Son of Kong.
Well, no, he's not. He's not
actually Son of Kong.
No, he's Booska. He's the equivalent of Booska, which was a kids show from 1966.
On the annotations page, where the kids are playing in the kind of industrial pipes or whatever you call those, and I was like, that scene was lifted directly from the fucking show.
Yes.
Guys.
And apparently, one of these kids who hangs out at Beastly Radio Wave found him in their version of 1959. Yeah, it's Gagon, isn't it? The little one.
Yeah.
During a fight between Megagon and Rainbow Knight. Now, so Gagon is Booska from 1966. Rainbow Knight is, well, first of all, his costume has no rainbow colours on it at all.
Maybe he like shoots rainbows. We don't know.
He's a combination of 7 Colour Mask, who also did not have 7 colours on his costume. His 7 colours were referring to like the 7 forms he could switch into. Okay,
because initially when I see that guy in like the opening and stuff, I figured he was
Moonlight Mask.
Oh no, I thought he was Kashan because of the kind of V thing on his. Yeah. I figured like that can't be right.
Moonlight Mask was before 7 Colour Mask and was created by the same person. Okay. And so he's a combination of those two. And Megagon is Mammoth Kong, who was a creature on Moonlight Mask and was television's first giant monster in Japan. And that happened in 1959.
And this is still the same
episode. Years ago.
This is still the same episode. Yes.
It's like basically a dude fucking rides a motorbike at a King Kong, and you're just like, whoa, that was fucking sweet. And it's like, and here's the historical significance of that. Yeah. And it's just like, that's basically what we're just telling you.
Yes, because we haven't even got to the episode within its own universe. We haven't even got to how bonkers it goes at the end. So it turns out, yes, they were building these beasts.
Yeah.
And this causes Jiro to go
Insane. Oh, yeah,
bananas.
I was right.
Because apparently there are locks on his arm keeping something in.
Tell me. Oh,
well, we don't
okay,
know.
Don't tell me.
But it blows, it blows everything up.
It may be some kind of fiery dragon.
So is this present day
Based
at
off
the
the
show?
fact
Is this the furthest point in time?
This is 66.
But that's not the furthest,
This is
because we've seen
66.
70s, yeah?
Yeah, we've been as far as
Right.
73.
He's
episode
investigating these kaiju making guys as part of being in the Bureau.
Yes.
So we've seen he eventually is not in the
Okay.
Bureau. We still don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
But it might be some magical thing because you won the pink-haired yokai one.
Yeah.
Kind of seals it back up again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, so in this episode, we saw that she took on a current form from, looks like some drawings which were nearby Jiro.
No, it's those early picture shows that were really early manga, which I fucking love that as an idea.
Yeah.
And yes, and then we also find out that the head of the Bureau and apparently
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
two
somehow.
other high-powered people in government.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but it's
Robots?
fucking what?
No, they're gases inhabiting human
Dad,
beings.
I think you just said
So
gas.
the gas comes out their face. The bodies, yeah, it's gas. The bodies collapse as the gas escapes, and then they form a brightly colored circle that whichever one of them is talking at the time, the circle glows that color. And I'm like, what is even happening
They
right
talk
now?
faster because it's too slow for them to talk about this in their human.
As humans,
voice.
yeah.
And apparently they're actually the ones responsible for these beasts because they're trying to make superheroes more popular by giving them something to fight.
Yeah. But they're trying to introduce some kind of arms race, really, aren't they?
Yes, because they're worried about Master Ultima returning from Mars.
I fucking love this show, dude.
It sounds like it's going to end on a... I don't know. It sounds like it's got a lot to live up to. It's...
I don't know. It's
It basically it gets to draw from every best bits, like greatest hits of all the good shit from way back. So I don't know. That sounds like it can do pretty good out of that.
It's putting up a lot of dominoes and just see if it's going to knock them all down in the end.
That's true. Yeah.
And we also got a good bit, there's like a good bit of dialogue between Jiro and the kid who's in charge of Beastly Radio Wave, where they're both discussing where the kaiju come from, because in the Jiro, I think he's saying, they represent their nature.
That was an interesting discussion, yeah.
Yeah, because it's basically taking what people read kaiju as metaphors for and turning it into a real thing in their world.
Like, it's basically them going like, why do we have to fight the kaiju? It's like, well, you gotta, like, they're destroying cities. Like, tidal waves destroy cities, earthquakes destroy cities. And it's like, yeah, but it's different. It's like, we live on an island where we get shitloads of earthquakes and tidal waves. What are you talking about?
We just deal with it. We work around it.
We just keep on going. That's what happens.
Yeah. It's like, like the policy at the Bureau is just, if you see a kaiju, fucking destroy it. And like, Chico, who's had a new one of these, saying, do we have to always kill them? Can we just like capture them or send them away? And
I don't know, to a monster island of some kind.
Yeah, I just kind of go and buy the book with it, but also some kind of history with these guys as well. But I think the seeds of doubt are being sown at them. This could be this could be part of what causes them to turn against the Bureau or go on the run. Yeah,
you see kind of things of that the whole time, like where he wants the kid yokai on the team because he kind of fills him with hope as to what he needs to do. He needs to understand his job as that.
He's an arcade, not a yokai.
Sorry, I
How dare you?
Yeah.
I get my ghosts and monsters mixed up.
Yes. I believe it will probably be an important distinction down the line.
Yeah, because I was just like, I really don't know the difference. It's all ghost monsters to me.
I think there's one character we've not seen in the opening credits yet, which is that lightning kid who's got one eye covered up. So I'm assuming he's going to be the Kitaro.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Stand-in. And then we've got all the pop culture keys up to the end of the 60s covered, I think. Because I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be my feeling at the moment is it's about how the politics of the 60s and the pop culture of the 60s resulted in the sort of superheroes you got in the 70s, like your Kamen Riders.
Yeah.
But we shall see. But it is really good, Anthony. You've got to watch it. It is. It's just once those gas people showed up, and I'm sure they must be a reference to something specifically. There's a film called The Human Vapor, but that sounds more like Caesar Clown from One Piece than those guys.
Bizarre.
But yeah, that's that. So let's move on to stuff we've all watched. Lovely Muko! Episode 1, Shiny Nose Muko loves Kamatsu-san.
What a fucking change.
I was feeling exhausted from you guys, but now I've got the energy. It's back.
Okay, Anthony, tell us what this is about.
Oh, God. This is about a dog, and it's a female, is that right? Yeah, I presume so.
Yeah, it's
Muko-chan and her owner, Kamatsu. And he's a glass blower. He works from home, presumably. And she likes to stretch his towels, and he doesn't like this too much. And she also dreams that in the opening scene, the opening intro, which made it worthwhile alone, she's dreaming that he's a dog as well. And you see him running along with her, with his outfit, which is like what do you call those bandanas that, workmen wear? Just a bandana. He's wearing one of them, but he's got a dog face.
It's got a happy maybe?
And it's bizarre. The dog talks, which isn't necessarily the weirdest thing. It's just everything about it's the cutest.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if your man could hear him initially.
I thought that as well.
I think it's an internal monologue.
Yes, I should also say this dog exists in real life, as does Kamatsu.
Is the man real?
What?
Is everyone real in this?
I don't know if everyone's real.
The dog's real.
Yes, the dog's real. The glass
It
blowing
can't
shop
actually
is-
talk.
Oh no, I
Anthony.
wasn't expecting. It's a real dog.
Not now.
And
Yes, the dog
why
has
is
a
it
Twitter
so
feed.
famous?
Because there's a comic about it,
Unbelievable.
which this is based on. And there's been shorts of this before. This is like the first full-blown TV series.
And it's the cutest dog. It's always...
Yeah, and the animation is pretty terrible.
It works
but
with what it's got very well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I find it really enjoyable. What about you two? Dwayne and Niall.
Okay, two things, right? This show's ugly. Oh my god. I had a lot of trouble with that. And the second one was, that dog is really, I found him really annoying. Because it's
very dog-like, though.
It is very dog-like, but it is very yappy dog-like, and I don't like yappy dogs.
It's just being a dog.
I know. I can
I'm
already
just getting the
it.
dog's internal monologue as it's reacting to things.
Yeah, the whole oh my god, I have a tail, tries to catch tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea that its owner is like its entire world.
Which is lovely.
That sounds like a dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for some reason, everyone's dressed as donkeys in the end credits.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
And Kamatsu doesn't have a clue about
Just
technology. He's
No, because is that his manager?
I think it's just
the guy
his
with the death metal
friend.
shirts?
I thought it was just his friend doing him a favour by basically taking pictures.
Friends who know computers.
It's great when his friend takes a picture of Muko and it looks like a normal dog. And as soon as Kamatsu takes a picture, it's Muko again. It's really good. It's really good. And I'm shocked as hell. I watched this for a joke. I thought this was going to be garbage, but it's not the best thing, but it's far better than
It's lovely.
It is lovely. That is a good word to describe it. Muko's just adorable. Kamatsu's a nice guy, and the heavy metal dude's good.
Well, you shouldn't grab a dog by the face.
Yeah, he's perhaps a bit, but it's like a playful rough. He doesn't like his towels being stretched.
Yeah, well, you gotta be firm with them, or else we're not gonna learn.
Why doesn't he just give her her own towel? Then again, she would probably want his.
Gotta be cruel to be
Yeah.
kind in the right measures. If you don't want your dog to rip up your towels.
Anyway, talking of cruelty, let's move on to Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. Episode 1, Iron and Blood. Niall, I believe you're the biggest fan of this, so
And he hates
tell the
it.
people what it's about.
Alright, the year is Acrid Calamity War 300. The place is Mars. and two young fellas, Orga and Mikazuki, are, and along with other band of ragtime misfits, are young fellows, most of them only boys, in the employ of a private military company called CGS. And they are tasked with the private military company is tasked with escorting a young lady of nobility, Cordelia Ina Bernstein, who is the figurehead or the chief spokesperson of the kind of Mars operation, because Mars wants to be kind of free from under the military rule of an organization or a government or some kind of governing power called, I think, Yadderhorn, who basically lorded above him in spaceships and threatened him with mobile suit warfare and stuff like that. But little do they know that Cordelia's own father has actually sold her out to Yadderhorn, and they're actually in cahoots. So this whole thing of having CGS escorted to safety was actually all a ruse, and they plan to send Yadderhorn mobile suits down to assassinate her and basically put an end to this whole Mars revolutionary movement. However, Orga, who's kind of the brains of the operation, he's kind of had it up to here being kind of the little man on the totem pole. Him and the other boys are constantly getting abuse from the older soldiers in the employed the company in various forms, and they're basically the guys sent out as a cannon fodder to dig minefields or dig up minefields or to serve as kind of decoys to diversions. And so he basically stated as a mutiny of the company, while they're being attacked by Yadderhorn mobile suits, the older soldiers now just basically run away under the premise of operating a pincer movement, leaving the boys to kind of fend for themselves. But
operating a pincer movement, you go towards them and we'll go away from them.
Yeah,
like when you open a scissors and one part goes away from the paper. Fuck's sake.
Well, luckily, back in the garage in the hangar, they've been working on restoring an old mobile suit from the Calamity War from centuries ago, the Gundam Barbatos, and they put Mikazuki, who's kind of like Orga's attack dog. Really, he's completely dedicated to him, and he'll basically do whatever he says, no matter what it is, no matter how violent or bloodthirsty it is, and just when things seem to be, taking a turn for the worse in battlefields, because he busts out the ground in the Gundam and basically pulls their chests out of fire. And then things are kind of in a state of upheaval then. You guys only seen the first one, but it kind of jumps off from there where the lads...
I watched as far as the second one, yeah.
Yeah, the boys kind of try and wrest more control of the PMC from the adults basically, and try and convert it into their own organization. And you have Cordelia, the Mars spokeswoman for freedom. They're all just kind of hanging around their base, under their protection for the time. And they're basically trying to, eventually they will, take up the job of escorting her to Earth to try and broker the peace negotiations or whatever the end goal of the thing is, all while trying to evade death from the Gjallarhorn, who are out to both kill Cordelia and also, I guess, could do away with these guys because they don't do much.
Right, so I keep replacing not everyone's, but most of the characters' names with guys from Gundam Wing. Is that normal? Because it's I keep thinking her as Peacecraft, and I keep thinking of your man as Hiro Yui, and it's just is that just Oz? Okay. I know Gundam gets kind of samey, but I felt that was kind of a thing. Just put on Mars to be different.
Yeah, whereas I was thinking, man, I miss Gundam Age. I'm maybe I should go and finish watching that. Because what's his face's haircut's very similar to the guy in a similar role in Gundam Age.
His haircut pisses me off. How do you have a peaked hair? That's not a thing. It keeps getting in the way of where he's looking.
This entire show pees me off. This is everything I don't like about Gundam, which is everything to do with Gundam. I'm serious. I don't know what it is. It's like they say the exact thing that's alright, we don't want this one person to like this show. you probably won't like it. Do it! The second half's okay. But I was so bored. So bored. Why isn't it G Gundam? At least that one's nothing like Gundam. It looks quite entertaining, but after that I'm done on this already.
I thought watching it, I thought it would be better with dogs instead of people and robots. That's only because we watched Weed recently.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you could say that about most things.
Everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those ones where the robots get in the way, and the robots...
I like the little robots, the non-mobile suits ones, you know. They look like Tachikomas or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I want a fan. If you're going to put robots
it felt
in...
more like proper military gear, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it's like, and then this dude walks in a stilettoed robot, and it's like, haha. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's the problem. I will go full robot. Just make your robots as crazy as possible. Then it seems like a robot show where you're sneaking in a cautionary tale about child soldiers, where this felt like a cautionary tale about child soldiers, which you've stuck some stupid robots in and given everyone stupid names.
No, you've watched more of it, so does it get into the whole child soldier thing and how fucked up that is? Because they've surgically altered them to robots. So.
Okay, so they don't even get into the thing which was interesting in the first episode.
No, I would think, like, you know, I thought it would be like, no, at least about, no, how Dawn trying the people of Mars or whatever like that now, but by episode 5 they're off Mars, they're heading to Earth. So
what?
Unless things are worse on Earth somehow, then yeah, it's kind of leaving behind. Unless it's got a different conceit that's actually trying to like gear towards.
Are they doing this for the entire year?
Oh gosh, surely not.
Like an old school Gundam series, or are they doing it half a year, like a Gundam Build Fighters or a G-Reco?
Let's see. I don't know what this running for.
Maybe did age scare them off doing one for an entire year? It's like, we've committed to a year, we can't pull the plug. On this thing.
Don't know how long it's running for. I can see this year anyway. I imagine something like this, it'll go for half a year, I think.
Never mind, it doesn't matter, I'm not watching more than one episode of it,
yeah.
so.
I tried. Boy, I tried.
I'll stick with it. It's kind of there's something about it I do like. You know, maybe some of the character designs do look a little bit different from what the usual things are. And I, for one, don't mind the dumb names. I think.
Well, I don't mind dumb names, but it's not dumb enough in all the other areas to go with those dumb names.
What? Not even Biscuits?
Biscuit Griffin.
And his like his younger twin sisters, Cookie and Cracker.
Jesus Christ!
I'm allergic to Gundam.
I mean, those in a different show, those would be great names.
Muko. Yeah. I mean, as it is, they are good names. But
I mean, in this show, if it had a bit more gusto to it, if it had as much gusto as those names have got gusto, I'd be more into it.
I might give it another bit. I don't know. I feel like there's something there, and I'm curious if it'll do it, but I don't think it's going to go. I think you said it, Niall. Like, this is PMCs and robots and shit. Metal Gear's been doing this for years or something.
Yep.
Yeah, PMCs.
Oh, and child soldiers as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Metal Gear has always been ahead of its time. I mean, like, when Kojima predicted back in Metal Gear Solid 2 that about on Twitter and the kind of the aggregation of useless information and shit like that, Twitter and Facebook, that kind of he knew back then that people were going to be posting up the most inane stuff, as if it was this chronicle, this record of their life that for all to see.
You could do a Gundam about that.
Well, yeah, I think part of the problem with a lot of these Gundams is we're too far away from the first Gundam to give new people any more of that. But at the same time, when they try and do a serious Gundam, they're still sort of
being born
slaves to trying to be like the
original. Like, I think I was thinking as well, like, maybe it won't go the way I wanted to talk about child soldiers, because that's an interesting thing that exists in the world and is messed up. Let's talk about it for a while. Or is it just going to be, well, this gives us an excuse for all our main characters to be teenagers, which is the standard manga trope.
I mean, it's different than your dad built it, so which is the old excuse for them to be teenagers. But at least Gundam Age got into the fact that you then saw what happened when kids forced to drive giant robots in war grew up and then forced their children to drive giant robots in war, and then eventually forced their grandchildren.
What is this Age you're talking about now?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, say what I like about Age, but the best thing is just how the very first main character is just a twisted old man by the end of it. Just ruining his offspring's lives.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing I kind of hope they would try for here, but I'm not entirely sure that's what they're going for yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more? No.
As I say, like, you know, I just see like where it goes really with it, but it isn't even like that the kids are very eager to kind of get out of this life. They actually take to being their own PMC pretty quickly.
I figure that's the way they're going to. It's all they know, so yeah.
This is all they know, but and I kind of hope at some point that, you know, that gets turned back on them and saying you guys are supposed to stand against the old way, but you're just like perpetuating the old way, like for what you're doing. I hope it kind of, you know, hope what they're doing is kind of shut up for enough. Really, you're not doing any better than the guys you want to oust and get away from. So.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to get as far as Earth to be iPhones. What the hell are you guys doing? You can't do this kind of thing on Earth.
Hopefully that'll be the difference with jumping to Earth that quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect Insider, Episode 1, Chapter 1, White Meeting. So this is an adaptation of a mystery novel about what science is he into? The main character. It's been 2 weeks since
Computer science.
Computer science.
What's life about, man?
And apparently teaming up with a genius programmer who's locked in her lab after she was accused of killing her parents and sort of communicates via video screen. However, in the very first episode, we do not get either of them into investigating anything in this first episode.
Like, I figured out how to watch this because I watched 4 fucking episodes of this. Right? If the show, like, if episode 1 ended at like the start of episode 3 or the end of episode 2, it might hook you. But even after that, it takes 2 more episodes of them wandering around like fucking idiots.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, that being said though, that first episode, I mean, it looks good. It looks like as a production.
Serious business.
Yeah.
It's really well made.
Yeah.
Just like the sort of, the character designs and even like the character animation, you really get a feel.
There's less little touches there. There's just small movements done very well.
Of the characters' different personalities. But yeah, there's not much of a plot.
They want to do a lot of subtlety with that to kind of get you to get a feel for these guys, but there's a lot of them sitting around not fucking doing anything.
Or talking.
It's computer programmers and engineers.
Yeah.
But get me hooked. Get me excited about computer programming. Don't do the anime thing about it's the most important thing in the world, in this world, but just show to me that it's the most important thing to these people, because they don't seem to give a fuck about computer programming.
No. It's mostly the main dude Shohei going, everyone is stupid but me.
Well, except for that doctor that killed her parents. Yeah.
But she thinks the same thing. Everyone is stupid but me. And also, I killed my parents.
I think this is such a tough, from that first episode, it is such a tough sell. Because this was on my list. This was on like, yes, I love mysteries. I love, crime and stuff like that. If this is serious, I'm going to love it. And it's serious. But I don't love it. That's...
Like, here how it goes, right? Episode 1, they decide to go to the island. Episode 2, they go to the island. And then they're there by the end of it. And then episode 3, we're actually talking about the interesting shit. And then episode 4, we're still fucking talking about that thing really slowly, like we're very stupid. And I'm like, just get on with it, fuck's sake. This should have been like 2
episodes. This guy's point for him over and over.
It basically becomes like a locked room kind of mystery thing. It's like, well, how could they get in or out if we have all these security cameras and shit? And it's just people trying to figure that out. And it's like, well, there's a dangerous person on the loose. We've no idea how they got in or out, or if they're still in the building, or if it's one of us. Let's all go to bed. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong
This
with
is a
all of
fucking
you? You're
game of
crazy.
werewolf, is it?
I'm willing to see this out though, because I feel when I've finished it, I'll be like, that wasn't too bad. That was pretty good. And I'll feel the urge to rewatch certain things. If it proves to be good, which it may be good.
I don't know, dude. Because you didn't like Monster, did you?
It was
No, it's me who doesn't like Monster.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I mean, like, I assume you were going like because it drags a bit, but this thing drags far
it's
more.
weird
so
though,
far.
because although it
This
dragged,
gets it up.
it ended quickly. I was like, oh, that's the end of the episode. I was quite surprised when it ended. I felt like I had another 10 minutes, which is completely ridiculous considering how slow it felt. But the movement, the pacing was a little off, yet I felt like I could have maybe stomached a little bit more. Maybe it's because nothing happened. Maybe I thought, surely something's going to happen. And it kind of doesn't.
Well, that's what I was saying, like, by end of episode 2, start 3, like, something happens and now you're interested. But even at that, like, it took so long to get there. I'm like, are they going to do this with every interesting thing that happens?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to find time to watch it, but I did like it, and I liked the opening credits as well a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, they're really good, yeah.
I think are the best thing about it. Yeah. Good song too.
Yeah. On to Mr. Osomatsu, episode 5, the Karamatsu incident / ESP Kitty. And let's first of all talk about the fact that in Japan, at least, they have pulled episode 1 from streaming, or they're going to pull episode 1 from streaming services, and it will not be released on Blu-ray.
So they're not going to pull it in the West, is it?
Well, Crunchyroll was not listed on the list of sites it's being pulled from.
Okay.
Because people are saying it's due to Japanese parody law. So in American parody law, and now in UK parody law, it's like weirdly this happened the week that Judge Dredd arc is now allowed to be put back into print.
Oh dear.
The thing which was kind of 1970s equivalent of that first episode of Mr. Osomatsu. Yeah, so it's not happening. They're going to do a new episode 1 to replace it, which I assume it will just be about the fact the original episode 1 has been pulled.
Yeah. I mean, like, I do want to see that episode, because I imagine it's going to be full of snark about the fact that the first one got fucking trashed.
Yeah. I chalked up to another incident. I mean, can you see more and more of these in news that just, like, seems to be a lot of folks in Japan just can't just laugh at themselves or just take a joke.
I think it's saying that, like, these are the most popular things. We're not knocking these. We're literally trying to rip on them because it's like, we want to be popular. We want to be like you. Yeah. You're a good thing. It's a compliment.
I'm just curious of whether it was any one particular thing or whether it was just the sheer quantity of them.
I thought
one of them is bound to stick.
I thought
right?
Japan were good with stuff like that. I thought like the craze would be like, oh, this is cool that we're getting like a little nod.
Like I said, we had an invisible Godzilla.
Yeah.
It seems to be going completely other way around. There was actually the same week that this news broke about the Osomatsu. There was SoftBank were putting out these ads for something like that. There's some kind of phone thing they're doing, and basically like, in the ads they show some famous anime characters in their later years. So you have like Sailor Moon, like she's like opened the bar and like Go 13 is somehow like the prime minister, and Kenshiro has opened the dojo, and it's like just showing them kind of in the later style and kind of they meet up in Sailor Moon's bar and they kind of remember the good old days, and also look at this cool phone thing I got. I think they're for line stickers, but it was like they got a lot of flack because this is disrespectful. Sailor Moon never opened a bar in Tokyo, or Kenshiro would never open a dojo. Go 13 would never join the government and become the prime minister. It's like, yeah, I know, guys, but these are also cartoon characters. They don't actually exist.
I was going to say, is that really a news item, or is that just somebody making some news item by deliberately looking for a few people making those complaints?
I don't know. Well, it's like, but I think it still does still speak of people just can't just take a joke. It's a joke, guys. Also, these are imaginary cartoon characters. I know that Astro Boy could not grow up and be a salaryman. I know that the point was he was discarded by his owner because he couldn't grow up because he was a robot. But it just works for the bit, okay? Just go with it. Just relax. It's a fucking cartoon.
Dear.
Okay, on to this week's episode. So the first part was the Karamatsu incident, which is where when the brothers fail to pay Chibita anything which resembles money. Well, there's 5 pennies.
And a paw print.
Some
Bunch of paw prints.
There was some other thing as well.
bottle caps, nuts.
Yeah, bottle caps, that's it.
Yeah.
He decides to kidnap Karamatsu and hold him hostage until the other brothers will pay. And it does not go well for
Initially I was like,
Chibita.
1 million, and then I was like, oh wait, Japanese money.
And it definitely does not go well for Karamatsu, as this is another story of the brothers not caring about one of the other brothers.
Yeah.
This is probably even worse than Osomatsu's
Yeah. It's worse because it continues on to the second story where only 5 brothers are there and just completely forget about him.
I did like Chibata, like going like, hey, me ransom you didn't really work out, and he takes him out for like a drink. I thought that was nice. I was like, what a cool criminal.
It's like a.
Sorry, brother, your family doesn't love you, dude.
It's just the whole thing that they kidnapped him because they wouldn't pay for like the food and drink that he gave to them. So by way of apology to this guy's kidnapped one, I'll have any food or drink you want. It's like okay, but the whole point of this thing was to get the money back. But okay.
And then he decides to ramp it up again by setting fire to Karamatsu outside their house. But also, they fail to rescue him because they're busy eating pears their mother had bought.
I lost a pear.
Are pears that good?
That's sad.
I mean, it's been a while since I've ate pears, but
Well,
they make
pears
out
are
like
nice.
They are pretty nice, yeah.
I don't think I'd sacrifice a member of my family for pears.
Well, I
Karamatsu.
don't know. I might sacrifice that member.
He's my favourite as well.
Oh dear.
But yeah, a big part of this episode is to pay off the very punchline at the end of the entire episode. Because then we get ESP Kitty, where we actually do get some sentimentality.
Yeah, I was really worried it was going down that road, but like the entire show, because I was like, I don't really care about these guys' actual feelings.
It was very strange sentimentality though. So,
Yeah,
well,
I guess.
Yeah, so basically, Jushimatsu brings Ichimatsu and a cat to Professor Decapan in order to have some experiment take place, which will allow Ichimatsu to talk to cats.
Yeah, because cats are the only people who understand them
Yes.
or something.
But they decide he's got like an empathy potion that he's going to inject Ichimatsu, so Ichimatsu will be able to understand other people's feelings. But the cat takes the bullet for Ichimatsu because this is a very big needle which is going to go straight into his
It's
butt.
bigger than him.
Yes. And so this cat is able to read people's feelings, and also, as a side effect, he can talk now.
Also, he was wearing glasses the whole time. What's
Yes.
up with that?
I
Cat
don't.
glasses.
I believe he's a character from the original.
Oh,
From what I
okay.
was reading.
I thought it was just some random cat who wore
Yeah.
glasses.
I don't know whether he had ESP then or not. Whether this is some sort of secret origin for him, I don't know. But yes, he wears glasses. And so when he sits in front of you and you sort of say something, then he'll say the thing you were really thinking.
Yeah.
And that sort of plays out quite funnily with the other brothers, but then it gets to Ichimatsu, who's the sullen, depressed one. It all gets a bit too personal.
It's a bit too real. Yeah.
Yes. And sort of kicks the cat out, and then there's a hilarious sequence where the cat's like running through town, ruining various people.
Mostly,
Yeah.
Yami.
But
Yeah,
when he
Yami.
goes to like the cult is my favourite one. Like some sort of satanic cult he ruins.
It's like Ku Klux Klan dudes, but wearing black. That dude looked like a grand wizard or whatever.
It's big fire.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
And they look for Ichimatsu, they look for the cat, finally bring them both together, and the cat apologised, but it might just be the cat reading Jushimatsu's
I thought it was just him putting on a cat voice.
Oh, it could just be that as well, yes.
I was like, I'm a cat! Because the cat does talk like that, so it's a pretty easy one to take off.
Everyone's happy except Karamatsu shows at the end, who is completely indignant that the brothers can feel sorry for Ichimatsu, yet have no feelings for him being set fire in front of them.
So, was the entire point of that second episode was the one joke that they don't like him because
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
that was the only point of the sentimentality. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right then.
I love the way the show takes the sort of the two-story format and then makes bits from the first story carry on through to the second story.
Yeah. And
I think this was the ultimate they've done so far.
Well, the second part was just a punchline from the first part.
Yes. Yeah. Which wouldn't have worked so well if that second one wasn't as sentimental.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But there were still good bits in the second part on its own.
Yes.
Especially they're having a lot of fun with that cat, I like how, no, we should do cat. We should take it over to Totoko's house and then we'll find out, who she really likes. And then everyone's saying, no, wait guys. I've bring the cat to the house and find out that she doesn't like any of us. It's like, yeah, actually, good idea. We shouldn't do that. And that vagueness will be our only hope that she might like us.
Oh, dear. Oh, and again, the youngest brother gets proved to be a massive asshole and the most sneaky one.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, wow, this cat's really amazing. It's like, wow, this cat would be a great British quick game. We should sell this to a circus. I mean what I mean to say. What a cute cat. Yeah, it's so now.
And in this episode, Dayon was a French maid at Professor Decapant's.
Yes.
Next week we get an Ayami episode, according to Ayami.
Oh, I don't even watch the previews because I just want to go into this fresh. But I'm excited for this news.
Should be good.
Yay.
Okay, let's wrap things up with episode 5 of One Punch Man, The Ultimate Master. Anthony,
Yes.
you want to do the honours? You were getting super excited about this.
Shit in my pants all week. If that's, can I say that? No, so yes, the best thing of the week. I look forward to this every single week. So they've gone to the registration. They're going to do the test, Saitama and Genos, as if you want to call it. Is it Genos or Genos?
Genus. Or Genus.
Genos. Whatever he's called, the robot. And, Saitama's, he's got his kit off, he's just got a pair of trunks on, and he is shredded. He is shredded. And everyone...
That fucking pan up was amazing.
It was beautiful.
Because it ends in his big dumb
They don't do the serious face for this point. We get Saitama face. And there's guys kind of watching him and they think, this is going to be a whitewash. This guy's going to be terrible. And he's doing different tasks, different, things, jumping side to side, jumping vertically, punching stuff. And he's just a beast. He is amazing at everything, because he is incredible. And I just died laughing when he jumps the vertical jump and his head's through the ceiling.
Yeah. And his limbs just dangling.
And obviously this doesn't hurt because it's Saitama. And, Genos, he's a beast as well. He passes it with flying colours. He gets an S rank because he nails the exam. He nails the physical. And Saitama gets his little results sheet out and he pulls out halfway and it looks like an S. And Genos is like, oh, Master, you've even got a bigger S than I have. The curl is larger.
Yeah, they put it in a larger font. You were that
You're
good.
That great, blah, blah, blah. And it's not an S, it's a C. And I knew this was going to happen because I've read it. But it's so funny.
But it's obvious it's going to happen that through the thing. I love the build up to it's clearly a C, right? It's a C. It's definitely a C. And then after it happens, he's like, oh, let me just analyze that using my fucking font recognition software.
Actually, yes. Now I find it's more closely to the top of the C. It doesn't look like an S, so.
But basically barely scraped. Although his physical was pretty good. I guess the exam. I'm sure in the manga you get to see more of the exam.
No, that's about it. Like
I thought we see him like struggling in the exam and stuff, unless I've dreamt that.
No, you've dreamt that because he passed it. Remember, they say he's passed it with. He's broken all records for the exam.
Like I
50,
figured
50 is the most you can get, but if that's the best 50 they've ever gotten.
Yeah, I figured because he got like a 71, I figured the physical exam was 70 points, and he just got the 1 for writing his name correctly on the exam sheet. That way it's like, well, we got to give him a point for that.
And then I forget this guy's name. What is the guy?
Snake.
Yeah, he's...
Snake. He explains he's not Snake in the end credits. In the next preview, he says, people think I'm called Snake. But
and he's
Snake.
like Nicolas Cage. And what's up in Wildest Heart where he's got the snakeskin jacket?
Snakes.
Or Snake Eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's the same jacket, I think.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And he is this over-the-top... Just, not that everyone else is not over-the-top in the slides, because they all are, but he's ridiculous. He's kind of talking to Genos and Saitama. Saitama's just blown gum. He's blown like the big bubbles, and he's saying, look, listen to me, if you want to get anywhere, show some respect, that kind of thing. He says, and then he starts jumping up on the table and he's doing like snake strikes and he's great. And, he can't believe that kind of Saitama's there because he's an idiot. He's an idiot. And then, what's the other guy called with the long hair?
The one who shows up later, Am I Mask?
Yeah, because I don't remember him at all.
He's the guy who he's
top-ranked A.
Yes. He'll reveal himself to be a bit of a dick later on.
Well, yeah, Genos got kind of called into this meeting with the big wigs of the hero organization. They show him the picture of the tower from a few episodes back. So like, are you responsible for this? And he's like, yes. And so obviously they're amazingly impressed because he's a big deal. And
yeah, he took out this whole evil organization while not being a hero. Yeah.
And then we get the sparring between Saitama and Genos, and that's the best thing this week. I was in goosebumps.
Where did he get that polo neck with no sleeves? Was that part of the upgrade?
Probably Professor made it for him, yeah.
You want one for yourself.
It's to show off his new guns. Literally. They're literal guns.
But yeah, sorry, Brian.
Yeah, there's also a throwaway line earlier about Moomin Rider refusing to
upgrade his rank.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which, because that's, I believe, to distinguish him from a character who we meet later on.
I see.
Okay. So he's not taking he's not taking the rewards for the stuff that Saitama did.
Oh, right, okay.
Whereas we who have read it later on know there's a character who has taken rewards.
But yeah, the sparring it's kind of Genos. He wants Saitama to give his all, which is never going to happen.
Yeah, because I don't think he wants to kill.
Well, he could be rebuilt, but the impression I get is there'll be nothing left of him. But he's going full out. There's fire, there's explosions, there's fast movement, and Saitama's just dodging everything. And this is like Dragon Ball Z, how I remember it.
Dragon Ball Z.
No, seriously, when I was a kid, the best bits of this is me as a kid watching Dragon Ball Z. I'm serious. This is how Dragon Ball Z felt 10 years ago.
It. Okay.
For me, I was like, oh god, this is brilliant. And I rewatched that bit. I rewound it. I didn't even watch to the end. I rewound that bit and watched that bit again. I was like, yes, this is brilliant. And it looks fantastic.
It's more beautiful than it has any rights or any need to be.
It's so brilliant. And what happens then? They go to a bar or something, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah, well, like, they're having that fight, like, and then, like, Saitama was like, well, dudes like, come on, Master Phone, come at me for real. Everyone saying, okay. And then Saitama, like, goes to throw a punch at him, and it's like, this the oncoming, this terror. I think there's like sound effects at the table that's like, death. He's trying to, like, too fast, I can't get out of the way. And he stops like just before, and his face kind of just blows out his hair back and saying, okay, GS, let's get out of here. There's something to beat. And then he turns around and the whole like canyon's obliterated. It's just with a shockwave of the punch being thrown at him. The whole canyon is just gone behind him.
Which is made all the better by his dumb fucking walk.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that turn, that first initial bit of him doing that walk
Yeah.
is the best bit of animation in that entire
I
fight.
fucking love that shit. It's like, don't.
And then he's basically walking like a Fleischer cartoon for the Night Birds.
He is my favourite character of all time. He's too good. He's everything I want from a character. In every single way.
He is cheap as hell.
He's so strong.
He's cheap as hell without that being annoying. And because it's a comedy, he gets away with that, yeah.
And then they have another contest at the restaurant.
Oh, the spicy noodles. Of course.
Somewhere along the way there as well, like, Saitama was out for a walk or a jog, and, Snake comes up to him and saying, Alright, Saitama, we got a thing in the recognition kind of rookie crush, and you're gonna beat up and teach you a little respect. He's just doing that to him, whatcha, and he goes to hit Saitama in the face. He's kind of swishes his cheek, and then Saitama obviously just knocks him out straight away, puts him in a crater by the side of the road for him, saying, wow, that guy's nothing.
I guess he could have killed him by mistake, but thankfully not.
And we also have learned that Genos was this cyborg that apparently the Hero Association were looking for, and he's been put into the S-class rather.
Oh yeah, he's been bumped up to S-class.
He's been bumped up to S-class artificially.
Yeah, generally you have to work your way up to that, but this guy's so cool, you guys, and they don't even know he's like someone else's psychic.
We don't know why they've been looking for him.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
And then Amai Mask shows up, and Saitama thinks that he's come to do rookie crushing on Genos.
Yeah. But he's just being friendly?
Yeah.
He's giving him a friendly warning.
In the most threatening way, yeah, sure.
And then we get the spicy ramen, which...
That's just
that
after the spicy ramen.
Because if you do it, you get... Is it 50,000 yen you get?
Yes.
And if you don't do it, it costs you 10,000 yen. That's harsh. Oh, my HobbyLink Japan converter mentally was going crazy. Oh, gosh.
Then it looks like they're going to part ways, and the credits roll, and then after the credits...
I fucking love that, because I was like, oh, Genos not going, is he? I fucking love Genos, he's cool.
He was just going to go and get his stuff.
Hey!
That was a brilliant goddamn joke.
Bachelor pad.
I'm just like, oh, I just went to get my shit in the biggest backpack I could possibly
What does
find.
he need? He's a robot.
Well, he probably has screwdrivers and shit in there.
Well, he's a cyborg, so he's still partially alive.
Isn't it just his head? I don't know.
Maybe it's all like hair products.
Yeah, his head does look pretty good.
Your brain needs food, your brain needs nutrients to keep it alive.
And also apparently massive amounts of cash.
Oh yeah, he's rich. Maybe just went back and did the spicy noodles over and over.
But spare parts don't come cheap, do they?
I did like that. Saitama was like, he's like, can I live here? And he's like, not really. It's like, I'll pay you rent, and it's like big wad of cash.
So much money.
We got a toothbrush.
Top notch. Top notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure it was going to be able to beat Concrete Revolutio this week, but it did.
I mean, like...
They're both winners.
Yeah. We all win by watching, so that's fine.
Okay, I think that wraps up this week's episode of Let's Go. Be back next week to hang with the Let's Go gang. And in the meantime, check out our regular podcasts at secretofthesailormadness.blogspot.com and dynamitinthebrain.com. Good night.
See ya, kids.
Bye-bye.
Bye.